So the story of Thatch Squatch started a year ago, last winter, I believe. The city of Toronto, on its lakefront, had an international competition for proposals to put out warming stations, or something they put on the beach so that people in the winter can go out to the beach and stay warm. And we decided we would enter that competition, and we designed this object that came up out of the beach, and we expected it to be covered in snow. So it was an object to look at that was kind of hunkering down, facing the frozen lake, but also that you could get into, and it would be warm. So the plastic bag thatching comes from that, because we're thinking about ways to basically make an architectural hug or a jacket, something you could snuggle up into. Many months later, we were asked to produce a piece for a gallery in Houston. And our first thought was, well, we never studied Thatch Squatch as a built thing, so we could build a piece of that. And that's what you see at the University Museum right now, is this, it's our first full-scale model of a piece of Thatch Squatch. So it's just the first piece of being able to get inside this architectural hug, this warming thing, and direct your view out in this very particular way, in a very particular direction.
We also noticed that when we're just building this one section of it, when we had to modify the design for the space in Houston, that it really started looking a lot like a hunting blind. And we kind of decided that let's embrace that, because that totally makes sense here in Louisiana. So that's where this coyote decoy that's painted orange comes in. And there was no other hunting season during that time. So whenever it's alligator season in the next few weeks, we're going to switch it out with alligators, and then it'll keep being updated as the hunting seasons change.
Well, in the original, it was supposed to be up just for the winter. And then we would have a springtime bonfire on the beach in Toronto. We're not going to burn this one. But we did study how thatch burns. We studied how the plastic thatch would blow in the wind. Just to get back to these different iterations of it, I mean, it's always been a piece that's about the form from the outside, rising up out of the ground. But it's a viewing device from the inside out. So originally, it was viewing the horizon, the icy lake. Then we went to Houston, we were looking at a wall and a gallery. So in there, we made a movie of winter. So you're looking at winter. So we're still trying to approximate, this was kind of a model or a mock-up of this other competition. So the coyote fits back into that. Now that it's on the lawn, really what view are we framing? So this same project, so this is Thatch Squatch 2 that's out there now.
That's what we call it,
right?
Thatch Squatch 2.
Thatch Squatch 1 was the competition. Thatch Squatch 2 went to Houston and was brought back here. There was an international call for a pavilion on a landfill in Austin that has been covered, and they're turning it back into a park, right? So they wanted ecological architectural installations out on the park. So we modified it again, and we incorporated a lot of things we'd learned.
We gave it a new name.
Gave it a new name, changed it from thatch to prairie grass that would fit into this prairie, and we were named finalists in that competition. So from that, we kind of had ideas of material, and we had ideas, some of form and shape. And then we went back to the drawing boards, and we went through a series of sketches. And this really happens, I guess it happens very fluidly, but it's in the critical process. We're all academics, so we're used to talking about our work and bouncing ideas off of each other. So a lot of the sketches you'll see happened either on our iPads or on our sketchbooks while we were talking via Skype, and we would just hold it up and show each other, and we'd say, yeah, not that, or that's a horrible idea, I think maybe this. And we come to various conclusions. From there, we started computer modeling, and we still had probably 2 or 3 schemes at this point about, we knew we had thatch, we knew that we were interested in a superstructure that would hold up the thatch, and then it became the idea of the form, what should it look like?
And so basically, we collected 1,500 plastic bags, and I'm showing you right now the technique that we use to make them all into fringe. So we have to lay them all out flat, pile them in bundles of 5, line them all up on the bottom, and start to fold them over in a little roll, and then cut off all these ends to open up those handles. Just start to cut them up into fringe. If you could just imagine doing this for 1,500 bags. It was a lot of fun. So there's the thatch, and then after that's done, we got to get all these extra pieces out. So then you have this. Once you have this guy, you can layer multiples of those all in a row.
I think that it's wonderful that architects are part of this show and of this museum, right? Because many times there's confusion about whether architecture is an art or not. And I think it's not fair to artists to call ourselves artists. We are architects, we're something different. But it is part of the visual realm. And so I think it's wonderful that it's on display here along with the actual fine artists, the work of architects, as something different but equal.